Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games. This time painting Lenny from the Gremlins faction of Malifaux, olive green 09035. So Lenny is one of Summerteeth Jones's sons. He thinks. Gremlins don't keep track of their lineage too well. But while most gremlins are about half the size of a human, Lenny is one of the exceptions that ends up being much larger, and he's even less intelligent than most gremlins. Most gremlins are basically, uneducated, simple-minded, and Lenny is even more so, but he more than makes up for that with massive strength. His favorite weapon is his whacking stick, as he calls it. Not so much a stick as it is a tree trunk. But he currently has been elected by the other gremlins to be their general, which was done for political reasons, where everybody hinged on the same idea, because they knew none of the masters in the Gremlins faction knew they'd actually have a chance of being the actual general, just because of the rivalries between them. Wound up hinging on the same idea of electing Lenny Jones. There's not much on him beyond that. He's pretty much just a big, well-muscled brute. That's all there is to it. Got a nice, solid coat. If he's based on any specific character, I'm not certain, though there are parallels between him and a character of, what's a book I'm thinking of? The Grapes of Wrath, I think. Either the Grapes of Wrath or of Mice and Men. Okay. Gets pretty good coverage on him. So once that's dried, I can start on the rest. There's one more. Oh, looks like I need to get a little more under his left there. There's one more color I can do before I take a breather, and that is Tarnished Steel 09206. It's got a metal band at the end of his tree trunk. I suppose there is one more bit to Lenny in the Mark I fiction about him, and that is the other gremlins would taunt him because of his size and even more profound lack of intelligence. And that stopped when he basically took a tree trunk and played baseball with them. And by that I mean using the other gremlins as the balls. So, let that dry a bit, come back in a minute. Alright, let's get the base coats finished up. Let's start with Rosy Skin 09068 for the piggy. And he has a thing for pigs. Likes to keep one as a pet. Unfortunately, he usually ends up killing them inadvertently. And I don't know what's going to happen with him in 3rd edition, but currently he can take an I think it's an upgrade where he can use his piggy as a projectile, essentially using it as a baseball. With a trigger called It Survived. It puts a piglet into play after the attack's resolved. don't be afraid to hold the model at any angle you need to paint it. And then Templar Blue 09056. So I found out yesterday that Reaper is actually completely reworking their entire paint line. So found this out when I was trying to get some new bottles to replace some empties in. So I think gives me more incentive to just switch to Army Painter, which is a little more reliable to get right now. But we'll see. There's a paint set I've had my eye on. But, or no, it's not Vallejo, it's Army Painter. We'll just see what happens though. The thing about plans is they change, and sometimes what you'd like to do doesn't work out. Sometimes things you don't expect end up happening that work out in your favor. Yeah, Lenny does have a pretty substantial pot belly. Alright. And Leather White 09062. Got a thoroughly mangled and ripped up tank top on. It looks like it's at least 3 sizes too small. Let's see where it is. Okay, it goes right up to under his armpit. Sometimes the seams on where something ends and begins are a little vague on some of these models. Then oiled leather 09110. Being careful around the ears, don't want to nick that. This is just going on his hat. Which is missing the top of it. And he either doesn't care or hasn't noticed. Either or is possible with his intellect, or lack thereof. Then Shield Brown 09161. This will be for both his whacking stick and the base coat for the dirt, or mud rather. with these base inserts I sculpt. I just call them as I see them based on the model, and for Malifaux, I base it off of where they're most likely to be encountered. So for Gremlins, that's a muddy swamp. For a lot of models, I do random brickwork to represent the slums of Malifaux. But now being careful around the feet. This is much easier than the mosquito or the skeeters I did last time. So the white got onto the green. I can work with it around that. Now a little bit of yellowed bone, 09143. I think I can do this without any problems. This will be the last base coat. This is going on his teeth. That happened. Paper towel hole. Alright, let's try that again. Just a few teeth sticking out. To the pig's hooves. Okay, that's working. Alright, that's base coat, so once that's dried completely, then I can start shading. Time to start shading. Stained Ivory, 09142. So, just as a heads up, if you hear that thumping, it's nothing. I've got new neighbors. I think they are either DJs or musicians, and they've been kind of working on some stuff. Nothing to be concerned about. It's definitely better than the last neighbor I had down there that was a psychopath. Though I do need to talk to them about how late at night they do that. But that's nothing too big. So next up, Blackened steel, if I can find the right pot, 09205. So we've got the teeth and hooves. We'll get the band around the stick or trunk. Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to ramble again, and not in a fun way, so. Oh, Ruddy leather, 09109. And there's the hat. I think I can do the tank top and the pants, so linen white 09061. Not too concerned about the white that got on his belly. That'll come out when I shade it. And again, using about half paint, half water. Yeah, that just got places I don't want it. It's okay though, because again, the shade for the green will cover that up reasonably well. And then Breonne Blue 09055 for the jeans. Which is clogged, so paperclip hoe. So probably be able to do the pig and the log next. But then I'll have to do the skinned. Yeah. Skinned, yeah. Skin tone last, I think. Then to get the mud look, I'll need to do a bit of black over that. So, looks like 3 more clips to get the shading done. It's alright. Okay. Back in a minute. Okay, things are dry enough to work with. Rosy Shadow 09067. So, another noteworthy ability of Lenny's, at least until her edition or whatever, is a healing ability called Pet the Piggy. Some kind of healing or buff effect. I can't quite remember. I haven't looked at the card too thoroughly. But another bit of a detail on this lovable mook. Be careful of the border between the pig's flesh and the shirt and Lenny's flesh. And now Woodstain Brown 09160. Get the log in the mud. Yeah. Alright. Let's do the interior first. That's going to give me the most problems. I don't know if you can hear that low thumping or not, but that's, again, the neighbors I just mentioned. The thought that they're trying to be DJs or composing electronic music makes more sense than just listening to loud music, because I keep hearing the same. It really sounds like they're trying to perfect something down there. They keep repeating the same segments with slight variations to it until, for quite a while actually. So I'm assuming that they're just reworking and reworking until they get it right. But that they seem to do this out of the room that is directly below my bedroom has been making it a little difficult to sleep at night, so I'm going to have to deal with that, talk to them about it. Starting to ramble. This is 2 nights in a row where I didn't really sleep because of this, so I'm a little loopy. But okay, that's that. I'm just going to do the skin tone, then start some eyes while I get the second layer shading on the base. Come along nicely. Fairly simple, but it works. Oh, come on, focus. Come on. It doesn't want to focus. There we go. Alright, dry enough to work with. Muddy Olive 09034. A bit of the blue got onto the ankle there, but I think I can work with that. That should be alright. To be more precise here, with your base coats, you want to go from the lowest area of the model to the highest, generally starting with the skin. And then for your shades, you want to go high to low, so that the paint will flow. Or what am I thinking of? So if that way, if the paint flows into lower areas, you'll be able to fix it more readily. Or rather, we'll have less to redo and touch up. And then lowest area to highest when you're highlighting. Yeah, that'll be okay. And it looks like there's a bit of cloth on his arm I didn't catch earlier. I can fix that easily enough. So, just go around it for now. That happens sometimes where you change your interpretation of something mid-paint job, so it happens, don't worry about it. In fact, I could probably just leave it as is and it wouldn't be that noticeable, but I'm going to go ahead and fix it anyway. I'm just kind of carefully dabbing this on underneath the pig's legs. Now the feet. Go ahead and take that water white again, 09062, and do that bandage on the arm. Then I'll just go ahead and shade it with linen white when I do the last layer on the base and hit the eyes. Just going to be a quick base coat here. Just enough water to keep the brush moist. Yeah, a little ugly, but it'll work. So once that's dry, I can wrap up the shading. Alright, pure white 09039. This will be going into the eyes for the sclera. I think I'm pronouncing that right at any rate. If I overextend, well, the reason I do this before I highlight is the highlight can be used to help cover up any overextension. And I'll take linen white and take care of that bandage real quick. Just a tiny dot. That number is 09061, by the way. And that's it. That brush dry out, and I'll take pure black 09037. This should work. And I'll need a little more than that. Looks like the right bicep there, just under the shoulders, just a little wet still, but that's alright. I'm not going to need to go there. So carefully dotting in pupils. The pig looks less than enthused, but there's Lenny. Now I'll thin that rest of that out into a wash, using 3 to 4 parts water for 1 part paint. That's about right, and this will just help make the ground look dirtier and muddier than the log. Alright, that's all the shading. Next is highlights, lining the base, and that's going to be it. Oh, come on, focus, please. Go. Okay, highlighting. Starting with pale olive 09036. So, no water. This is a technique called dry brushing. Take a ratty, feathered looking brush like that. Then rub your pan on a paper towel till it looks like there's almost nothing left. Then lightly dust. That is too much paint, actually. Lightly dust the area to be affected. Going against any ridges, so that said ridges will help. Going against ridges will help the ridges catch the paint. And then Rosy highlight 09069. I'm going to be switching my brushes fairly freely because I have several suitable ones on hand. But you'll want your brush to be completely dry, which might slow you down if you only have one. It'll work. I don't really sell brushes like this, but they'll get this way after a while. So, yeah, something about many of the pigs, especially the piglets of Gremlins. Next up, Driftwood Brown 09162. And a lot of them look pretty cheesed off, less than happy about their circumstances. Being used as pets' food, or in at least 2 cases, projectiles. which will be referring to both Lenny here and the Pigapult, which I have, but I had painted up long before I started doing these videos, so that's one model you'll never see here. Getting the ground dusting. Just about done. Ashen blue 09057. Brush is getting a little tangled up in there. Looks like his pants barely fit him too. Oh, burnt orange 09111. And boy, this comes out very wildly. True silver 09207. Just about done here. Let's put a little shine on the banding. Creamy Ivory 09144. Seeing a really light touch on the teeth. And the hooves. Ghost White 09063. A little more paint directly from the paper towel. And that's all the highlights. Now this a little more pure black 09037. Just going around the edge of the base. Again, I used to do faction-specific colors, but with all the faction changes coming up, I'm just not going to be bothering with that anymore, so that is what it is. always clean out your tools as thoroughly as you can. And actually, if it looks like you're being rough with your brushes, don't be afraid to. It'll actually help in the long run. And there we go. Lenny from the Gremlins faction. Got one more Gremlins video, then a quick break from Monster Apocalypse before more Malifaux. So, until next time, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.